When you hear that guitar riff, you know what time it is.
Classic.
Classic.
Classic. A Different World.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Whitley. Kim.
Freddie.
Winifred.
Listen, we're gonna call her Freddie. She was Freddie for 5 seasons,
Yeah.
and then she grew up a little bit.
Of course, Ron as well.
Ron, of course. I feel like it was definitely a memorable cast.
Yeah.
Unforgettable storylines. A Different World is a sitcom television series and spin-off of The Cosby Show. It aired for 6 seasons on NBC from September 24th, 1987 to July 9th, 1993. Here are 10 facts about the show, A Different World.
Number 1. So the original premise of A Different World actually was going to be a white student attending an HBCU that was changed to a black student, Denise Huxtable, from The Cosby Show, played by Lisa Bonet, attending an HBCU with a white friend.
Yeah, that's a different story. That's a whole different story. This was the first time a lot of graduating seniors got to see something like this. It was something to aspire to. The interesting thing about this show is that season 1 coming in is so totally different.
Yeah, from the rest of the seasons.
Yeah, it's just the tone of it was different. You know, the casting, almost the personalities of the cast were different as well. Number 2. Before season 2 of A Different World began, Lisa Bonet revealed to Debbie Allen that she was pregnant and married to Lenny Kravitz. In a 2011 interview with the Archive of American Television, Debbie Allen stated this.
She leave the show.
Well, you know, this was very interesting. When I first took over the show, one of the first things I did was meet with Lisa Bonet. She secreted to me that she was actually pregnant. She had married Lenny Kravitz. I guess Bill had his feelings about that because he was possessive in a way. She told me she was pregnant, so I said, well, listen, we have to go tell him. And he sat there and looked at us. He said, what is it? Are you pregnant? And they were like, oh my God. And I said to him, I explained to him how I wanted to use it on the show. He listened to all of that. Maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, he says, you know what, Debbie? No. She's pregnant. Denise Huxtable is not pregnant. Lisa Bonet is pregnant, not Denise.
To your point about there being possible difficulties or some friction behind the scenes, you know, we've heard Jasmine Guy talk about that. And her just kind of stating that first season, she didn't care for the way that Sinbad and Lisa Bonet were both treated, and she almost left.
Right. Number 3. So all the shots that you see of, you know, different buildings on campus,
right,
that's all Spelman or Clark Atlanta University. Now, they never revealed where the college was in Virginia, but possibly maybe that Richmond-Petersburg area.
Okay.
Because, you know, we have Virginia State University there, or the Hampton Roads, Seven Cities area. And
That's
in that
true.
area, we have Hampton University.
Right, okay.
And Norfolk State University.
Okay. So wait, so the Seven Cities area for people who are not familiar, like myself.
I think you are, but go ahead.
And you know, in general, okay. Right. Listen, y'all not gonna come for me. You can name the cities.
Okay.
There's 7. I'll keep count for you.
All right, we got Norfolk.
Okay.
Virginia Beach.
Right.
Portsmouth.
Right.
Suffolk.
Uh-huh.
Hampton, of course.
Right.
Newport News.
Right.
And
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake.
Cheesy peasy.
I don't think they call it that anymore.
Okay, never mind. I'm old. Number 4. One of the biggest impacts of the show's success is evidenced in the enrollment rates of HBCUs during the show's airing. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, between 1976 and 1994, HBCU enrollment increased by about 26%.
Wow.
Now, the majority of that rise took place between 1986 and 1994, the years where A Different World consistently held a top 10 ranking on TV. So,
and that just shows that this show definitely was impactful.
Yeah.
And there is a direct nexus between A Different World being on the air and also,
yes,
you know, the rise in HBCU enrollment.
Absolutely. I think it's so important to really reflect on the impact that media does have on culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as I mentioned before, imagine all of the graduating seniors tuning in for the first time and seeing this show and seeing
high school seniors, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
High school seniors seeing what's possible. never dreaming that something like an HBCU even existed, right? Or the possibility of going to college. And here you have a television show with nothing but black people going to college.
Yeah.
Like, how does that not light a fire under you, inspire you? You know what I mean? Make you really want to reach for the stars.
Number 5. All right. Season 5. Episode 25. Save the best for the last, part 2.
Absolutely.
Whitley, I love you, and if you'll have me, I want you to be my wife.
What the hell are you doing?
Hey, I'm sorry, Byron. I love you. Baby, please. Please.
I do.
Well, in an interview with the Breakfast Club, Kadeem Hardison stated that some of that was improvised.
Once I, was getting dragged out and lost the lyric, I panicked. I'm supposed to run down all the vowels and say, will you? But I got lost in the lyric and just yelled out, baby, please.
That was the first and only take in front of that audience. That audience lost it.
Yeah. And I said, baby, please. And then the second, please, was like jazz.
Because Please Baby Please is from
Days.
School Days.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. But both of us thought that shit was corny. I felt it was disrespectful. I've spoken at Spelman and those girls were like, that wasn't a compliment.
I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there as an unpopular opinion. I wanted Whitley to marry Byron.
What?
It's out there now, and I said it, and I said what I said, and I stand on it. It's one of those things where it's the will they, won't they type of thing that entire season. And, we're on the edge of our seats because we're like, we can't allow this travesty to happen. Except for me, I'm like, hey, listen, yes, show up late or don't show up at all. It is really, really okay. Number 6. Jasmine Guy originally auditioned for the role of Jaleesa, which ultimately went to Dawn Lewis. On her third audition for the show, Jasmine then auditioned for the role as Whitley. During an interview with Oprah's Where Are They Now, Guy stated, so the next time I went into the audition, I said, look, whatever I'm doing isn't working. I said, no, I gotta be funny. This is when she decided to use an accent that she heard from her third grade teacher, Mrs. Pinkard. So this has always been really, really interesting to me. I've seen interviews with Jasmine Guy talking about the role and her just saying how Whitley was such a huge personality,
right?
And her just kind of struggling and wrestling with it and trying to kind of like find a balance for the character, to kind of tone down certain aspects of her personality so the greater parts of it can shine through.
Number 7, the theme song was co-written by Stu Gardner, Bill Cosby, and the show's own Dawn Lewis. During the first season, the song was sung by Phoebe Snow, but the showrunners had an initial version that was sung by Al Green.
Now that's a version I would have loved to have heard, honestly.
Seasons 2 through 5 were sung by Aretha Franklin, and the season 6 theme song was sung by Boyz II Men.
You know that 2 to 5 is my favorite, right?
Right.
Aretha, memorable. The song gets stuck in your head. I find myself singing it often. It's the best version.
I wonder if Glenn Turman had anything to do with Aretha being the person to sing the theme song for seasons 2 through 5.
Number 8. A Different World has always been a show that was never afraid to talk about topics that others would not dare to touch in the late 80s and early 90s. We've just got so many great examples of subject matter that they handled pretty well as far as I'm concerned. But I always felt like A Different World handled things, like the tone of it was always like really, really on point. And even going back today and watching a lot of these episodes, they still remain relevant. They still pack punch. We've got the one episode in season 2 where Kim has that pregnancy scare. Mammy Dearest, that was season 5. We've got the other season 5 episode with Dwayne and Ron at the football game, and they get into that fight and the guys are spray painting, the N-word on their car. It is a show that is not afraid to tackle like the tough topics.
Right.
There was the one episode about AIDS with Tisha Campbell and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. If I Should Die Before I Wake.
Yeah.
Right.
We had the episode with domestic violence.
Love Taps?
Yes, Love Taps.
Right.
Love Taps. So just a lot of heavy stuff, right? But they still made sure that they took time to cover topics that felt good, things that you expect to see from an HBCU.
Number 9. During A Different World's run, it consistently ranked first or second among African American viewers. Now, from season 1 through 5, the show aired at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time between The Cosby Show and Cheers. However, for season 6, the show moved to the 8 p.m. time slot for episodes 1 through 9. In the same Breakfast Club interview, Jasmine Guy said this about the time slot change.
Why would you change our time slot? And why would you put us against Martin? You ain't got but 2 black shows on the networks and you put us at the same time against each other? What have we done to deserve this kind of disservice? You know, we're not competing with Martin.
No.
We come on at 8:30, they come on at 8. Why did you move us? I feel like we have the same audience. Let's put them on at this same time. They don't do that to their own shows.
You know, it's a tough thing because The Cosby Show is off the air and they're making the decision to basically just slot this in that time slot, right? So now we're having to compete with whatever is on other networks.
Right. And Martin had just come out in 1993 at that 8 p.m. time slot for Fox. So, of course, they didn't know that Martin was going to be as big as it was.
Right. They didn't know the smash it was going to be.
And you can really tell that because, like I said, from episodes 1 through 9, it was at 8 p.m.
Right, yeah.
And then they tried to pivot and go back to 8:30.
It was too late by then.
Too late.
Yeah. Number 10.
According to The Hollywood Reporter, when Debbie Allen became the producer and usually director of A Different World after the first season, she transformed it from a bland Cosby spinoff into a lively, socially responsible ensemble situation comedy. Debbie, of course, you know, she was able to do this because she drew from her own experiences attending Howard.
I mean, even the personalities and stuff of the characters, just everything was different. Everything was much, much different. So the way they dressed and everything.
Yeah, and season 2, that definitely changed.
It did.
So in 2012, Debbie actually wrote on Twitter about rebooting A Different World, and through Facebook, Twitter, other blogs, people were in agreement with it. Over 1 million people reacted to it.
It'd be great because it's not as if we've not seen other things get rebooted. I guess the fear is just it being done poorly.
Unless it's going to be something where it's completely different.
Right.
I don't want them to say, hey, here's a new Whitley and here's a new Dwayne. Number 10 plus 1 more.
10 plus 1.
Apparently we're doing more than 10 today.
Bonus facts. It's okay. Recently, as of the taping of this video, it was announced that some of the cast would be going to an HBCU college tour in 2024. The tour kicked off in Atlanta on February 29th with Morehouse College, Spelman College, and Clark Atlanta University.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Additional HBCUs on the tour include Howard University, Alabama State University, and Tuskegee University. Now, that's just 6 that they've listed here of the 10. But of course, you can expect more dates to be added because, to say that it's likely to have been based in Virginia.
They got to go to Virginia.
Got to.
Yeah.
Gotta hit Virginia, gotta hit North Carolina. But just making sure that they hit all the campuses, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess it all depends on the schedule of the cast.
Right.
So that's why it's probably limited just to 10 cities right now.
Subject to availability and then also interest too.
Yeah.
But I can't help but to think that this potentially could kind of reboot the conversation about the reboot. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm against a reboot.
Just saying. Y'all drop down in the comments though, like for real.
No reboot in the comments. Just say no
Stop
reboot.
it. Okay, so I will say we've seen, Fresh Prince and all that. We've seen House Party, Boomerang rebooted. That Boomerang.
Did you just say the House Party reboot? Are you serious?
I didn't say it was good. I said it existed.
Okay, all right.
Can it be done well is the question.
Yeah, that's my thing.
I just don't want to compromise on quality just to say we put something out. So
Right. Favorite character?
Can I tell you my worst characters?
No, favorite.
Oh, God. I mean, Kim is my favorite character, though. I love Kim.
Okay.
Yeah. She's reliable.
Right.
But you know what? Who really grew on me? Ron. Ron really grew on me. I think he grew on a lot of people because you got to see him mature. You know what I
Right.
mean? Who was your favorite character?
I like all the characters equally. I don't really have a favorite character.
Who's your least favorite character?
I don't know.
This is not hard. Least favorite character, Jada Pinkett's character.
Nah, she was good.
But I love Charmaine's character.
How the fruit roll up do you like?
I hated Jada Pinkett.
Jada, do you like Charmaine and not Jada Pinkett's character?
I don't know. That little fast talking little girl, she was cute. I liked her.
Okay.
I was like, she's high strung, but I like her. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. We hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you are notified when we're dropping new content. That's it. That's all we got. Peace.